The Lift & Co. Cannabis Expo returns to the Metro Toronto Convention Centre, November 18th to the 21st. Discover and learn about all things cannabis. Get your tickets at liftexpo.ca. Must be 19 plus to enter and attend.
But at the end of the day, if you don't have the fundamentals down, then you're going to be completely missing the mark and overcomplicating your life, adding a lot to your plate that you don't need to, when in reality, maybe there's just a couple of things that you need to cut out of your diet or cut out of your business or marketing to get to that next level. And so it all comes down to do what you know works. And once you have that established, you have the fundamentals established, then you can go into the more complex things. But make sure you get the basics covered first.
Welcome to the Miracle Plant Podcast, the show that inspires, promotes, and gives you a daily dose of inspiration from the people who have used cannabis to change their lives in extraordinary ways. Here's your host, Justin Benton.
Welcome to the Miracle Plant Podcast, where we discuss this miracle plant with all of its misunderstood names and all of the incredible stories that this miracle plant has done for our family and incredible, amazing people around the world. Today, we have an incredible guest. He's the president of our fan club, official or unofficial, who knows? It's Ben Wallace. Ben, welcome to the Miracle Plant Podcast. We are so happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me on, Justin. I'm excited to be on here, honored to be on here. And let's get to it.
Yeah, I know you've got a great story. You were a Division I athlete and played football in college, and you've been through all kinds of different pumping up. And I know a lot of people might not can't tell by looking at you, but you were like a 300-pound lineman, and obviously put a lot of wear and tear in your bodies. And then after football, you made some different choices and decided to get lean and mean. Yeah, maybe tell them a little bit about your athletic journey and what maybe you had to use, because I know a lot of football players use a lot of painkillers, and those painkillers are over-the-counter drugs versus this miracle plant.
For sure. Yeah, like you said, played football 2011 through 2015 in college. And put on 80 pounds very quickly while I was playing ball there. Got up to a little over 300 pounds, and my body was really never meant to carry that much weight, as a lot of bodies aren't. So long story short, what ended up happening was I had 3 knee surgeries on my left knee, full reconstructive. And at the time, I met with my surgeon, and he had told me, you're 23, 24 years old. You've got a long life ahead of you, hopefully, and you don't really have any cartilage left in your left knee. So at the time, I was a young individual, not really thinking post-college. That was some scarier news to hear. And yeah, like you said, it ended up down a path. I wasn't deep into pharmaceutical drugs or anything like that by any means. But of course, after the surgeries, you'd be prescribed Vicodin or some form of pharmaceutical drug. And at the time, I was not aware of CBD or any other holistic form of healing the body. And yeah, the route I took was the pharmaceutical route, and I hated it. I hated being on prescription pills, not feeling like myself. And I know a lot of people struggle with that. Yeah, fast forward to, I don't know how long I've known you, Justin, for about a year now. I've been taking CBD, the 101 CBD products, and they've had a major impact on my mind, my knee, my health. And so that's why we're here.
Heck yeah, brother. I know that we started sending out some sampler packages and some starter packages for you. And I know you've got a special love for the hand shield. If you want to tell them a little bit about it. You opened my eyes to the different uses of this hand shield product that we made for people around the world, because obviously what 2020 brought us, everybody was really focused on keeping their hands clean. But when you wash your hands all the time and you use alcohol, it dries your hands out and can start for cracking, and not necessarily the best thing for you. So we created a product that was made with, essential oils and obviously the raw hemp oils, and it really would moisturize, protect your hands, and even had some things that have antiviral properties in them as well. And we were sending them out, giving them out. I think they're still $7, and it lasts you for, 2 months. But we sent one to you, and tell us your story of what hand shield means to you.
Yes. So I told Justin I would be a unique customer when I was telling him about my experience. I'm a big proponent of my morning routine. We run a marketing business and we help contractors with their marketing. But so we get up early in the morning and we live in Iowa. And if you don't know anything about Iowa, the winters get extremely cold and also extremely dry. And so you wake up and I always just have a very dry nose and dry just air pathways. And it's not very comfortable. And I like to wake up and to breathe and to get the body going. And Justin had sent me some of this hand shield. I actually have some sitting here at my desk because I use it so often. But I don't just use it on my hands. What I did was I used a little bit in my nose, and it has almost like a menthol type of base to it. It's a peppermint feel, and it just opened everything for me. It moisturized the nose. It's natural. Wasn't putting any chemicals into my nose to open things up and to lubricate things. And so I start my mornings every morning using it, rubbing it in my nose and breathing through and opening things up. Interesting story, but highly recommend getting some hand shield. And if you have any issues breathing, it will open your passageways. So
that's how, well, you were the first person that brought that to my attention, and I certainly have passed it on to customers and clients around the country and around the world, and used it myself. And we have a 6-month-old baby, Grace, now, and she's got her first little snivels and things like that as her immune system starts to get ramped up. And I know Molly, my wife, has been putting a little under her nose and a little on her chest as well to help out with her breathing these days. Yeah, there's apparently around 50,000 uses for this miracle hemp plant. And you might have made it 50,001, my brother.
Yeah, you're gonna have to rebrand. You're gonna have to rebrand this to No Shield.
Hey,
same product, different label.
Exactly. And we do have some fun products coming out. I know that you and Kenzie will get them. And there's an eye serum product that, don't tell anybody, it's coming out. And she'll love that as well. It's similar to the roll-on that we've used for the pain, those little mini ones, but it's going to be branded and it's going to be meant just for eye serum as well. And what's crazy is it's funny that you bring that up because the hemp oil has been proven to work for so many things. And even like little bug bites, rashes, cold sores, we've seen incredible results with that. Of course, pain, beauty marks, freckles, precancerous things. I had this little thing growing on my leg and it was just like not something weird. And so I started putting some hand shield on or one of the other topicals that we have because all of our products are made with the same raw hemp oil. And what do you know? Gone. And even varicose veins are pretty cool. So to me, I think it was my big fat Greek wedding that talked about Robitussin, or I forget what it was. That might have been Chris Rock, but that's what the hemp oil can be like. As far as I know, it does everything but the dishes. And if you get Dr. Bronner's hemp oil for the soap, it can do the dishes too. So that's awesome, man. Tell me about another product that you like. I know that you are, like I said, the president of the fan club, and I love hearing your enthusiasm and your insights on the products.
Absolutely. So a couple of products that I use that I love. Number one, the first product I got introduced to by Justin and then also Jeffrey Gittimer, who is leading a mastermind group that Justin and I are part of. And they have a product. Justin has a product called the Sales Boost. It's a CBG sales boost. And for anybody watching this who doesn't understand, CBD, CBG, it's not to be confused with THC and the cannabis plant and the part that gets you high. The CBD, a tincture like this, all I notice from it is clear minds, more energy. I've had it explained to me from Justice. It really just puts your body into a state of homeostasis or equilibrium where you are clear-minded, focused, and in a place of healing. And with the average American diet being so lopsided, everybody being so inflamed and not really on the healthier side of things, a product like this, it just allows me to, number one, feel healthier, feel more vibrant, feel more energetic. So I really like this tincture he has. I think it's called a tincture, right, Justin? And then another product on top of that I use. I work out a lot still. And like I had mentioned, Justin mentioned my knee. I use this product called the Raw Relief Roll-On. It's a CBD roll-on type, almost like an Icy Hot if you ever used it before. And it just opens up the blood pathways through your muscles or what have you, and you just feel looser, you relieve pain. and just a ton of benefits there. So the tinctures, the sales boost in the morning, and then either the chill or the alleviate oil at night, just to calm things down, help you sleep great. And again, just put your body back into homeostasis after a long day of work.
Heck yeah, brother. And I know we just sent you a recent one, but I don't think we've gotten Kenzie the new Raw Renew yet. So we're going to have to get you the new Raw Renew. It's got a new package. We just got, we did a big press release in the Los Angeles Tribune. I definitely can't wait to hear her feedback on Raw Renew. So that's why, I mean, the guys can use it too, but it's got incredible anti-aging and balancing skin and a glowing skin. We're going to.
Looking good too, right?
Yeah. Hey, the crazy thing is, as the older as we guys get, for whatever reason, we look more distinguished and the wrinkles look good on us or something. Whereas it doesn't work the same way, apparently, with the other sex. So they're always keeping their skin perfect and lovely, which is great. And the Raw Renew, again, because the raw hemp oil, that whole plant CBDA, cold pressed oil, it speaks on a cellular level to our skin and to our body. And so if there's any blemishes or if there's anything that doesn't seem right, it can actually do a handshake and reset the DNA code. So that's why we've seen so many like people with scars or even scrapes and things like that. Putting on one of these topicals helps our body heal itself. Just like when you were 7 years old, remember you'd get a cut and then the next morning you'd wake up and the cut was practically gone. Our bodies know how to heal. Just as we age and you kind of around that 40 number, our bodies aren't as equipped to help itself. So adding in good diet and good nutrition and supplements and things that help our bodies that might not be able to keep up, because again, our bodies have what's called an endocannabinoid system, which is set up to receive cannabinoids like CBDA. And that's the beautiful thing of this plant. And you can find CBDA in other raw plants too, like kale and broccoli. And in fact, our body makes CBDA. It's called 2-AG. It's a really long word. And so that's what we just started. All of this has been discovered within the last 30 years. And that's why we're hearing all these incredible stories with our son and clearing the fog in his brain. And we're speaking at a big conference tomorrow that starts tomorrow. I speak on Friday. It's called NOCO, N-O-C-O, out in Denver. And we get to share our story. And that's part of our mission here, is because it wasn't just our son that it helped. It helped so many other people that I didn't know what fibromyalgia was. I didn't know what rheumatoid arthritis was. I didn't know what neuropathy was. But as people kept finding us and our products, they kept telling us it was helping them with those things. And then when we started people using it for really complicated, life-threatening type ailments like cancer, and we started hearing from our clients these favorable results, that's when we really took everything to another level. That's when I traded in all my old businesses and suits and everything that I was doing in the marketing world. As we're going to get to talk about your marketing magicianship. And that's when I put all my chips and cashed them in on this miracle plant. And I'm so happy. Like I said, you are the president of the fan club. We are now knighting you as we speak here, because I love your enthusiasm. And I love the fact that you are so jacked on these products as much as we are as well, too. So speaking of marketing, brother, or go ahead, brother, what were you going to say?
Well, what I was going to say is I have tried, and my wife, Kenzie, and I, we've tried other CBD products in the past. We've been running our business now for a little over 4 years. And obviously with running a business comes more stress and things like that. And we like to try new things. And so we've tried other CBDs in the past to help with stress, anxiety, healing, all these different things. And what really caught my attention with Justin, number one, his expertise, his knowledge is unbelievable. But the way that they create their CBD compared to the majority, I believe the majority of CBD in the market, it's completely different. They don't heat the product. It's, I believe, cold pressed. And he could probably say more about that. But really, there's multiple ways to create this type of product. And you got to make sure if you're using a product like this, number one, you can trust the source. And number two, you know how it's being created and the impact it's going to have on your body. And so that's what blew my mind about Justin, was his expertise, his knowledge. I like geeking out myself about all the different pieces of the body, parts of the body, the mind. And so that was the amazing part about Justin's products.
Thanks, brother. And I don't want to get, because Russell Brunson's is watching, I want to make sure we get too far down in that techno babble. Again, the sales boost that we're doing with Jeffrey Gitomer with his logo on there, it has that CBG, which is cannabigerol. and it's the new hot, trendy cannabinoid, and it's actually called the mother cannabinoid because as the plant comes out of the ground, the plant is all comprised of CBGA, and that's the raw form of CBG. And so when that happens, it used to be that the plant would veer to the left and become a CBD or a hemp plant based on genetics, or it'd veer to the right and become a THC, or what we call marijuana in this country, high THC cannabis plant. And until recently now, we're starting to grow, and we've got some plants that we're growing, obviously, that stay as they come out of the ground as CBG the entire time. It's been quite an interesting journey. For me, I noticed the first time I took it, it was the first thing that came to mind for me was focus. And then a lot of people were getting energy, and we were getting feedback on mental clarity. And so I use it in the morning, every morning before I go to the gym or exercise on the Peloton or whatever. It just kind of gives me that little extra pep in the step. You hold it under your tongue for at least 5 to 7 minutes, and off you go. And the other thing, and so that's when I use the CBG. So that's the Boost X or the Sales Boost. And I know Jeffrey and I will be having another webinar on that later on. But right now there's some things that we're doing for that, but insiders in the mastermind get it, but that's about it. And yeah, I could go techno babble all day long, but that's why that boost is working so well for you. So I'm happy to hear it, brother. But like I was saying before, I traded in my chips for helping out marketing companies, and I was in that world for 20 some years. And when I saw the power of this miracle plant, I just knew that this was my calling, to take all the sales and communication and everything that I had done for so long, that I would go out and educate the world. And because of these stories that we were hearing from these people coming to us. And so I traded my marketing car in for the miracle plant, which I'm so happy to do. But you are a marketing magician yourself, and you've helped me with so many great things. And you're such a giver, and you're such an honest, positive guy. And I would love for you to explain, and successful and making it happen. I'd love for you to explain to the audience, because who couldn't use some help with your digital marketing, especially as I believe it was 34% of people who never shopped online because of 2020 now shop online. So the whole country is right around 70 to 75% total. So it was a huge shift to online and to online shopping. We were already around 30, 34%, 35% prior, but with everything that happened, now we're above 75%. So I would love that you could share with the audience some tips. I know you have a 9-part plan that's just crushing it out there for contractors, but obviously will work with any business.
Yeah, so awesome. So really with the marketing piece, like Justin had mentioned, we help contractors, home improvement contractors, blue collar businesses generate new leads, quality leads, and really generate more jobs for their business. But we do that with a 9-step system. But the reason we have a 9-step system is because Justin had mentioned, even before the shift last year with the pandemic, and everything was moving towards online. Things are progressing very quickly online. 90% of Americans and people across the globe have a Facebook account. And so businesses that aren't online are now being dominated by local businesses that are online. And the 9-step process we go through is applicable to just about any business. For the most part, most business owners can be overwhelmed with all the content, all the things they could be doing as far as making a new website, running ads on Facebook, doing all these things they could be doing online, but there's typically no clear strategy or roadmap. And so we developed a 9-step system where we're taking these individuals through a clear path to get them from stuck or struggling to now generating a reliable and predictable flow of new business. So a couple of the steps along the journey are getting clear on who your ideal customer is, getting clear on what your message to that ideal customer is, creating an online funnel system to take those individuals through really an ideal sales process. From there, following up, creating a follow-up campaign to convert those individuals into new customers for these businesses, driving traffic using social media platforms. Like Justin said, there's a lot of technobabble, but really it comes down to you need a clear roadmap to go from where you're at to where you're ultimately looking to go within your business. So that's really what we do for businesses.
Heck yeah, brother. I know you got the magic touch and you're just crushing it in the space, and you put in the time. You've been to Funnel Hacking Live, which I get to go to my first one this September, and it's just a master. And I know you work closely with Joe Soto, and he's obviously a wizard as well, and has helped me and you and so many of us make sure that we are just getting the absolute most out of the digital marketing world, because that's, like I said, it was already trending that direction, but it is there now in full-fledged. 3 out of 4 Americans are shopping online primarily. And so if you don't have some lines in the water out there, hopefully the blue ocean, not the red, but if you don't have some lines out there, you're missing out on 3/4 of your opportunities. So if anybody has any questions or wants to pick Ben's brain, his email's on there. It's ben@contractor-growth-system.com. For those of you listening on the audio, it's ben@contractor-growth-system.com. Reach out to him with any questions you have whatsoever, and he'll be more than happy to set up a call with you and go through all that. I would also be remiss, because our 5 pillars of health include diet, nutrition, and that's where the supplements of raw CBD kick in. You are what you eat. It's also mindfulness. You are what the second pillar is, mindfulness. So you are what you think and what you let into your brain. After that is exercise, of course, getting at least 20 minutes in a day to get the brain firing on all cylinders. The other one after that is sleep. It's so important. There's nothing better for the body than actually getting a good night rest and getting all that sleep. So if you combine eating, if you combine thinking, if you combine exercise, if you combine sleeping, and the final one is drinking plenty of good, clean water. And you should be drinking at least half of your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you should be drinking 100 ounces of good, clean, reverse osmosis water, or really clean water. Get away from the tap and make sure that you're getting the best is to actually go get some natural spring water, which is what I recommend. But if you can't, then some reverse osmosis water works. But with those 5 pillars, that's what we've seen for holistic healing and all kinds. Our body wants to heal. But for someone who lost 80 pounds and is obviously in great physical shape, what's a secret you have or two that really helped you to shed all that weight and stay in such great shape?
Yeah, so I have a lot of secrets, a lot of things that I've tried, but I really like to go off the principle, the KISS principle. You keep it simple, stupid. And the reason I believe that is because I think that everybody knows, no matter where you're at, you know the basics about being healthy. That you probably need to eat some vegetables. You've been told since you're a little kid, eat your vegetables. Get a solid source of carbohydrates that's not loaded with complex sugars, all these different things, and a good source of protein. I think keeping it as simple is the number one strategy for most people who are either looking to lose weight, but just remain healthy in the first place. I don't remember who told me recently, but we all know what to do. We're just not doing it. And that's the same with nutrition. It's the same with your sleep. Everyone knows they need more sleep, 8 or 9 hours for a lot of us. And we know what to do. We're just not doing it. It's not easy, but it's simple. And really just having a good source of protein, vegetables, carbohydrates is going to help you there. But a couple other things that I've tried that really helped me with my weight loss was, number one, intermittent fasting or fasting. I wasn't eating for 16 hours, so I would fast for 16 hours, and then I would eat within an 8-hour window. So my body could recover, it could digest the food and all those things much clearer and much better, gave me more mental clarity. So intermittent fasting is something you could do some research on. I'm not a doctor. I'm not recommending anything, but it had a major impact on my life. Besides that, really just doing your daily, some sort of, whether it's walking, lifting weights, cardio, exercise, you just need to work out for at least 30 minutes a day, get the body moving, because it's your only body you have and you've got one life, and you need to treat it well.
Heck yeah, brother. It reminds me, I think Tony Robbins threw something out there like that. It's for working out. It's like some people will be like, maybe I need to get the right outfit and I need to get the right trainer and I need to do this. It's like, no, you need to run. You need someone to chase you. Just when we all know what we need to do, just go do it. So I love that. I love that.
It's easy to get caught up because the same thing I was talking about on the marketing side of things, now with most of us having a smartphone at the end of our fingertips, you can find any strategy, any technique, and you can make anything you want as complex as you want to make it. It goes for marketing, it goes for health, nutrition. But at the end of the day, if you don't have the fundamentals down, then you're going to be completely missing the mark and overcomplicating your life, adding a lot to your plate that you don't need to, when in reality, maybe there's just a couple of things that you need to cut out of your diet or cut out of your business or marketing to get to that next level. And so it all comes down to do what you know works. And once you have that established, you have the fundamentals established, then you can go into the more complex things. But make sure you get the basics covered first.
And so again, since CBG is the mother cannabinoid.
This is the sound cannabis companies hear when they try to place an ad on Facebook, Twitter, or Google. The tech overlords' arbitrary discrimination against our industry is unfair. But until they change their restraint of trade policies, we need an alternative way to share our message with our customers. Cannabis podcasts are one of the last advertising platforms not controlled by tech monopolies. And for as low as $9.99 a week, cannabis companies have the freedom to play their uncensored commercials to customers around the world. Don't let tech bosses dictate how you run your business. Go to podconx.com. That's podconx.com. And for just $9.99 per week, you can go from this to this.
It's in all of our products. Some people call it full spectrum, but really we call it whole plant because we use the whole plant when we're essentially juicing it like celery juice. And so all of those cannabinoids, there's over 100 cannabinoids like CBG and CBC and CBD and CBDA. The A stands for acid, keep it raw, just like celery juice. And when they work together like a symphony, it helps our bodies find that homeostasis, equilibrium, or balance, like you said. Up in our brains, we have these things called CB1 receptors that are set up to receive cannabinoids like CBG and CBDA. And so, again, the cool thing about the research that we've come across with CBDA and Dr. Raphael Mechoulam, who's over my shoulder right there, that shoulder, that's him. And he discovered that CBDA was up to 1,000 times more powerful than CBD, working with some Canadian researchers. And it's really the whole plan. It's keeping it raw. There hasn't been enough studies on CBGA yet to get as specific as CTE and head concussions. All I know is that we've had a lot of people with severe brain trauma issues using our whole plant products, the CBDA typical ones that we have. And we've heard tremendous results. And they've tried everything, every drug, every over-the-counter, every type of cannabis. And they've seen amazing results. We've had people that were literally couldn't work for years, and they took our products for a couple of weeks and they went back to work as a teacher or whatever their profession was. So again, we found this miracle plant trying to clear the fog for our son. And his brain was not working right. And we had to help his body clean out and detoxify all the heavy metals and the pesticides that we have in our world now. And that this miracle plant being juiced essentially was the thing that got us over the top. And anytime anyone has anything that's dealing with the brain, always recommend trying our products. We obviously send them out for free for anything serious for you to try. And we just, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, dementia, all of those really challenging health ailments. We've seen MS. We've seen a lot of amazing things. We've had people on our Miracle Plant show, if you go listen to a previous podcast, or if you check out our YouTube channels as well. That's why we set up this Miracle Plant podcast. It was just to have people like Ben on to share their enthusiasm and their stories and educate with their experiences. And it's been a real treat, my brother. So I'm so happy to have you on. Any questions for me or any passing final thoughts?
Yeah, I do have a question for you, actually, Justin, and I appreciate you having me on here. My question I would have for you is, for maybe some of my family members or people that would be watching this who don't know a ton about CBD, and maybe they don't have any major issues in their life that they're dealing with. They feel like you're pretty normal and they're on a good path. What are maybe a couple benefits for the average individual who's just going through life and they don't know much about CBD?
Absolutely. The first thing is that our own body's been making CBD their whole life, and CBD and cannabinoids are actually in human breast milk. So you've been having it your whole life, literally. So first and foremost is to keep about that. And there's a reason they call the superfood the superfood. Hemp seed oil, which is our carrier oil in all of our products, so that's the base oil that we use, has an incredible balance of all 21 amino acids. It's got a perfect balance of omega-3 to 6 to 9. It's the building blocks for our bodies. So again, our bodies, when we're young and healthy, and when we're 7 years old, can fight off things. And after the age of 2, our immune system's fully developed. A lot of our health comes from our gut, and making sure that your probiotics and you're eating right and all of those things are really what keeps your body healthy and your immune system healthy, right? Because we've all learned in the last 12 months how important it is to have a healthy immune system, because there are bad viruses and bad bugs and bad diseases, and a lot of diseases can be prevented. I think the stat was somewhere around Jeffrey Gitomer's 74%. It was somewhere around there. That cancer and diabetes and some of the big ones are really caused by us and what we eat and the toxins and the pesticides and things that we expose ourselves to. Taking CBD is like taking an insurance policy, because we all have our cheat day once a day, if it's on Sunday or whenever, that we may indulge in that extra slice of chocolate cake or what have you. And so CBD is helping our bodies find balance. So for me, that used to be the number one reason people came to us was for pain and inflammation. And usually after the age of 40, your back starts to hurt a little bit more and things like that. You're not as young as you once were. And that's just night and day. When you take something that's good for you, good for your liver, kidney, and heart, and it works on getting rid of the pain, that's the night and day difference. But the main reason I use it personally is for anxiety and stress. I think some of us run a little hotter than others. I think it's called pitta in the Indian tradition. And so that's for fire. And so I'm a fiery person, and I know you've got some fire in the belly too, being an athlete, and I've seen you out and about. And sometimes you're running a little hot. Your neurotransmitters are firing too quickly, whether it's over notifications. Obviously, there's so much going on in our lives right now. Taking that sublingual oil helps bring the temperature down, helps bring the homeostasis down, gets those neurotransmitters firing the way they're supposed to, not quite so quick. And that's the calming thing that we see. So number one was pain. If you got pain or inflammation, that's why people used to come all the time. After 2020, it became stress and anxiety. And then the number three reason why people would love our products is better, deeper sleep at night. And like we talked about, the 5 pillars of holistic health is if you can get 7 or 8 hours of whatever your body needs of good, whole sleep, that is the fastest, best way for your body to recover and to heal itself. So if you're good with pain and you're good with anxiety and you're sleeping like a baby, it's just a good, healthy thing to do. It's like eating healthy for an entire month of kale and vegetables and putting into sublingual oil, and it's going to boost your immune system. But sometimes something's got to break for you to want to come find us, and we'll be here for you at 101hemp.org whenever you need us.
Mic drop. That's why I love you, man. So you're the expert at this field. So good stuff.
You're the expert. Yeah, absolutely, brother. You're the expert at what you do, and I love that you're helping out so many contractors out there. So if you're in the blue-collar world or white-collar world or have any questions about generating money online, reach out to my man Ben here. So reach out to Ben at contractor-growth-system.com. Ben, thank you so much. President of the fan club, 101hemp.org. And just really a pleasure knowing you, brother. Thanks for all your help with the marketing good stuff. And we will see you in another room soon, hopefully on Clubhouse, because that's where I hang out. So thanks for joining us, my friend. And we will see you soon, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you here at the Miracle Plant Show, and we will see you next week. Take care, everybody.